Hi. So Mahana and I are here to talk to you about what does it mean to be a star seed. And we're going to get a little bit really into it because she's galactic and I'm galactic. And is that the same thing as a star seed? I don't know, but you'll find out. And I think she's going to go back to sleep. So, hello. Um, Mahan and I have been channeling a lot lately, and the beings are becoming pretty adamant about us creating some YouTube information and essentially getting information out there. So, this is going to be a little bit more than just some surface information about what it is to be a star seed. But before I get started, I'm going to introduce myself briefly and let you all know that I am Galactic Ashley. Welcome. I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. Additionally, I have several galactic guided intensives. I have 4 a year, and they are 10-week programs. And depending on what time of year it is, there could be a light language one coming up, a channeling one, but the one that, in accordance with this linear time moment that we are in, the next one that is coming up is called Meet the Galactics, and I'm really excited about this one. So, Meet the Galactics is a galactic guided intensive. It is a 10-week course. It starts really soon, and registration is officially open. So, this course helps those passionate about embodying your starseed consciousness, which then allows for your true history to be recovered, making the paradigm shift to living as galactic beings in the here and the now. You'll have the opportunity to learn to engage and integrate galactic frequencies into aspects of your daily living, metaphysical, and healing practices so that you can more easily align with unconditional love, organic energy, enter and hold highly coherent and resourceful states of being. And essentially, there will be a different star nation or a collective that will be coming in every single week. And so I invite you to join us and experience all of these amazing galactic energies and frequencies and discover or remember which star nation you resonate with the most or the ones that come through. Plus, you can be in a very high vibrational, amazing, supportive community. I am really looking forward to this. It's a brand new course. It's all new, channeled information. The beings have been coming in for the last few months, which was a little bit distracting because I was in the middle of the light language course. But we're ready and we're excited. So essentially, the next question is, what is a star seed? Doesn't matter. How do you know if you're one? So first of all, what I want to mention is that categories, boxes that we check. So even if you do identify with being a star seed, it's any sort of category or identity that we align with is really only meant to be a temporary container to hold us so that we can grasp and grapple with these aspects and these parts of ourselves, right? And then eventually we're meant to grow through the container. We can expand beyond this box because anything eventually it serves us, right, in the moment. But then, like any belief system or identity, it can be freeing for a while until it becomes limiting. So I use a star seed lightly and also very inclusive. So the first question is, maybe, do you resonate with terms like galactic, blue ray, starseed, walk-in, edgewalker, celestial, earth angel, blueprinter, dragon, wingmaker, light worker, grid worker, light architect, indigo, crystal, rainbow, extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial, earth seed, hybrid, new human, wanderer, angelic, celestial? Did any of those feel like, did you get a buzz when you heard any of them? I do understand that part of being human is that we ask this question, who am I and where do I belong? And it's a very valid question and it's very important. But truly what's important is less about the word and the identity and more about the vibration and the resonance. And are you vibrating with me right now when we are connecting and communicating through this sort of digital realm? Do any of those words sort of light up to you, even if you don't know what they mean? Because there are a lot of different types of beings that are embodied on this planet, and many people who identify with the term starseed, sometimes they have an innate longing for the stars, and this is sort of the more surface stuff. So you may have an innate longing for the stars. You may experience feelings that you don't belong. Star seeds may feel homesick or lost. Some have strong memories of other lifetimes on other planets and in higher vibrational existences. However, what I do want to point out is there's nothing wrong with those feelings, right? We need to identify them. But at its core, though, these are feelings of strong separation from source. So this can cause struggles and suffering in density because, again, we are living the illusion of separation when we really allow those feelings to sort of dictate who and how we experience what's around us, right? So connecting with our galactic lineage offers a lot of opportunities to heal, to integrate with your multidimensional aspects, and to hold divine presence in the present rather than being focused on down here, not to being as good as out there. So that is stereotypically a big pitfall that is like quicksand for star seeds. And please know that when I'm saying star seed right now, that it includes that whole list that I said, plus some, plus words that I am not even aware of, right? Another way to look at star seeds are, if you have had, although we're gonna basically advocate against this in a second, but this is another stereotypical way to identify as a star seed is for some generations of star seeds or for certain waves of star seeds, you will have experienced the majority of your lifetimes outside of planet Earth, meaning you have had very few lifetimes with or on this planet. right? But here's the thing. What happens is that star seeds, oftentimes you come in with memories intact, which is that is the gift, right? But when we have these memories, we can become focused on down here just being dense and horrible and just feeling so emotional and distraught and nostalgic. And then we start feeding into separation. And then we sort of can become apathetic. You can just want to wait for this lifetime to be over. And that is not why you are here. And so a lot of star seeds become just so focused on wanting to go home that you are missing out on the reason as to why you're here. And part of that reason is to embody your starseed consciousness, to embrace your galactic self. So, for the star seeds that have had more lifetimes on this planet, you might identify, because many star seeds arrived, we'll say early, 20,000 plus years ago during the idea of, during the vibrational time, during the bandwidth or the iteration of Earth that we consider to be late Lemuria and mid-late Atlantis, some in Sumeria. But what happened is that the Earth grids began to, they became very fractured, or they collapsed. And additionally, Gaia was also placed in an encapsulated grid system because there was concern about the fragmented grid system, and that the Earth was sort of in this space that energetically would and could become very detrimental to the rest of the solar system and the Milky Way galaxy, and could have a negative effect on other star nations and other beings beyond this planet. So there was a collective decision that was made to kind of basically put this encapsulated grid system in. And what that means is that if you were on the planet, and not necessarily as a star seed, but if you were on the planet and you wanted to connect to your like home collective or your home planet, or to the God consciousness, what was happening is it's like you were now in a dome. So rather than being able to ping out to where and who you wanted to communicate with, what would happen is you would like ping out, and it would like bounce back off of this sort of container back down, and you were then gathering information from the human collective on the planet rather than the higher dimensional information that you were seeking. So then it became very confusing. And star seeds at the time, some became involuntarily stuck on the planet. Some, however, were able to keep their memories and to live very long lives and to sort of adapt to what was happening because there was an awareness. And so many went into inner earth and sort of continued living as these kind of galactic but now sort of inner earth beings, and becoming a part of Gaia's consciousness. So these would have been the beings that were already very intimately connected to the nature, to the consciousness of Gaia, and connected to the heart core and this crystalline consciousness. So they went in to inner earth, right? So as the earth grids then began to stabilize and the encapsulated grid system was removed, a new wave of star seeds began to arrive, some of which are brethren of the original star seeds who became stuck on Earth, and many are related genetically. So the first wave, or that first generation of star seeds that came to planet Earth, many mostly lost their memories, and their the new star seeds, the new arriving star seeds and star family are now feel very dimensionally different because they're actually coming from another timeline, another density or vibrational realm. Compared to the earlier star seeds, and many of the earlier ones have become more densely embedded at this point in the 3D reality, linear time, the history of Earth. And keep in mind that the histories that you are commonly given, some of those, especially during these really catastrophic times with the phantom grid system and all of these fractured points with multiple parallel timelines and multiple iterations of Earth existing, there are a lot of false memories in the memory complex. So there is an accrued karma, and let's remember that karma is neutral, right? Like karma doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just neutral. It's like the idea of cause and effect. So some of the earlier star seeds, like if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know about UFOs and galactic stuff, but you know yourself as a light worker and are very aligned with the ancient mystery school teachings of like Buddhism, Egypt, a lot of the tantric temples, and a lot of the Sufis, the Essenes, the Rosicrucians. I probably just said, I'm going to blame the dragon beings. Their pronunciation of words isn't very good. I'm just kidding. Neither is mine. So for we'll just call them a first generation starseed that has essentially been kind of on this karmic wheel because they literally got stuck here. They've really forgotten who they are galactically speaking. But for them, awakening may not mean ET or galactic, but it may be enlightenment or reaching samadhi, right? As presented by those past mystery schools, right? So we're not judging any star seed or any type of being as being better than the other, and we definitely are here to honor each other's experiences. And we're really here to collect our soul's records and remember, and to eradicate fear in a lot of these lower vibratory energies that are here. But before I get too sidetracked, so if you are a first wave ancient mystery school star seed, you may have star family here that is a new wave star seed, meaning they haven't had a lot of lifetimes on this planet, but they're here on a recon mission to find you, right? So what is beautiful about this, and what I am seeing a lot of is, and also something that many people are getting confused by too. So please don't be confused by this. And if this aligns with you, like feel into this, right? The beauty of being on a recon mission to find your star family that you have been separated from in many ways. It's almost like the walkie-talkies stop working and then those walkie-talkies no longer work anymore. So while there is no such thing as separation and you're all one and everything, you can still, from this dimension, feel very separated. So what happens is when you begin to awaken, and maybe you find yourself studying these ancient mystery school teachings and you're starting to enlighten and you're like, I am a light worker, I am here, because at this point you are here for Earth to heal. You have memories of earlier iterations and ancient traditions, before the Lemurian Holocaust, before the cataclysm of Lemuria. Okay, beings, come on. Like the ancient place with the A, Atlantis. You remember those times. So you are here trying to bring Earth into the vibration that you know she is, right? You were first seated here. You know Earth, so you are very much in alignment with this planet. So the point of all this is to say that you can have star family that is here. And once you begin to resonate and lift your vibration, you start to draw in this other human being that is your embodied star family that is here on a recon mission for you. And what happens is the universe does what the universe does, and you cross paths. And what I see, just due to dimensional existence, is somebody all of a sudden feels this intense amount of love for this person like they've never felt before. And this doesn't always mean a starseed recon mission. Oftentimes we are calling in soul families, so there can be a similar kind of experience. But the purpose of this is when you find this star family member of yours, your heart begins to open, your heart explodes almost, right? And then you start to remember things, because what happens is when we are ready, the universe brings us in with another resonating soul family or star family member, and there are transmissions, activations, and downloads that take place. Memories are restored. DNA comes online. This is one of the greatest gifts that we can have. But what does the human do? The human gets involved and thinks, oh no, I'm in love with this person. But I'm married, but I have kids, but I'm not gay, or I am gay, and why do they have to be that sex? Is this my twin flame? None of that, right? We have to understand that unconditional love from the cosmos, from these galactic perspectives, is just that. It is pure vibratory, pure vibration, pure love streaming through with this other person. You are here to activate them. They are here to activate you. And if you're lucky and if things work out, you get to be in each other's lives. You get to work together. You get to experience a brotherly or sisterly love, or you get to experience another type of love and intimacy. It doesn't have to include sex. It doesn't have to include marriage. It doesn't have to include anything like that. You can simply unconditionally open your heart and allow yourself to share this love with someone that maybe you just met. So just keep your mind out of it and enjoy the process of opening to receive unconditional love. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll get downloads of lifetimes and all of these other memories will be restored. And then this person gets to be in your life. And sometimes they're just meant to come in for a short period and then that's it. Frequently I find that it's more, if it's star family, they can kind of like stick around unless that's only part of the mission and then they need to be somewhere else, but at least the communication remains. Sometimes if it's just a soul family or something, or there's just a similar resonance, there can be a very similar experience, but sometimes the relationship or friendship or whatever it is a shorter, right? They come in, the activation happens, maybe you work together very intensely, and then it's over and you kind of like move along on your merry ways, continuing on your mission. It doesn't mean that your love for them stops, but it might mean that as far as what we define relationship as in a 3D terms of calling and checking in and remembering birthdays and doing all of these things, maybe that isn't there. So my advice and suggestion is just because you have a star brother or sister or somebody that's on a recon mission and you're a light worker and you've been here for a really long time, it's not always a sign to upend your life, to get a divorce, to move to another country. Just allow yourself to feel the unconditional love. Allow yourself to go through this cosmic expansion, to experience enlightenment. Integrate that new energy field, those DNA activations, and then decide, right? It's a huge gift if you can be found by someone, if you've been here and they can just activate something in you, because you might be the person that has all of these ancient ties to these ancient mystery schools, that is aware of their origination point before the corruption entered them. And you are the person that is here to take those codes and part of those sources and that really beautiful ancient wisdom, especially if you were a part of creating those schools in the purity and love vibration that they were intended to function as. And then when you start remembering your galactic memories, then you can pair these new paradigm frequencies and energies that the new earth is sort of calling forth. Or bringing from the future. I really like to call this, I like to call it ancient, the future histories, right? So we are here functioning with anticipatory histories, or the ancient future, or future histories. I mean, because this is what is being requested. And so we're all being asked to open. And to merge our knowledge with some of the ancient wisdom that's here. But if you've already been here and you can remember your star connections and aspects, this really positions you in a very perfect way, in a very grounded and solid way that is experiential oneness with the earth, for you to bring through and to create these new healing modalities and methods that bring the perfect parts of ancient wisdom paired and connected with the perfect part of the galactic energy. And then for starseeds that are sort of trying to find their earth legs, it can be beneficial when you connect with your, this is what is coming through. It is beneficial for you to connect with your star brethren who got stuck here. Why? Because starseeds are frequently, almost always, yes, always, generally, the beings don't always like to say always, because there are many exceptions to the rule. So always, generally speaking, you are from a collective. And so what happens is, especially if you are sharing human blood genetics, But even if you're not, when you make this connection and you are here on a recon mission, what will happen is, because you are a part of this collective, because when you connect with the generation 1 of the Starseed, you are able to download the memories and the experiences and the history of generation 1 Starseed into generation 2 Starseed, so like the newer one. And what is beautiful about this is that the collective connection, the experiences are exchanged. And so in many ways, minus the lived experience necessarily, but you see their past lifetimes, they become your past lifetimes, right? And so this is very common, and I have experienced this, where I resonate with or have lived multiple lifetimes on this planet, except I haven't lived that many, but I know that those experiences I have downloaded through others. But because I am from another universe, I'm not on a recon mission here. And so this is just blessings and gifts that I have received from being part of other collectives and consciousness energies, and how those codes have been shared with me so that I can come here prepared in a way. So I'm not... it's kind of like I'm already sort of grounded when I'm here, even though those experiences are not mine. You might also remember, like I do, so I wasn't having a physical experience or a lifetime when Yeshua was here as Yeshua. Yeshua was here just like Mary and Buddha. Actually, they incarnated many times together through multiple lifetimes before they became the Yeshua, Mary, and Buddha that we sort of remember them as. But my point is, when Yeshua was out walking on water, I distinctly remember being there. But when I looked at it deeper, I realized that I was there essentially taking notes, and I was interacting with and studying Earth from a multi-dimensional galactic part of myself. And I was able to be there because I was connected with a soul family, or somebody that I had a connection with galactically speaking. And so through his energy field and through his structure and through his permission, I was allowed to come in and be present to witness and to observe a lot of what Yeshua was doing on this planet. Also, Yeshua is Arcturian, and because I am connected with the Arcturians, that's another reason, right? So these are all things to think about, right? And it can be confusing, and there is no right way of being a starseed or experiencing Earth or not experiencing Earth. It really comes down to you opening up to and being able to discover and recover your own galactic memories while being within this dimension. Okay, so I briefly mentioned this. So, yeah, we already talked about that. So, to be a starseed means that you have come from and operated within a group consciousness, like a collective, like a true collective, meaning that your shared identity with your species or group is more important to you than a sense of personal identity or a personality that you may have. And so I know that for me, I have personally struggled with identifying as an I. I prefer a we. And why is this? It's because a group consciousness is a collective awareness. It's an it's an identity, an intelligence, and a communication system, and it includes every individual expression as a part of the whole expression. So individuals within the group consciousness are aware of what the group experience is at all times. They are part of the group because they want to be, not because they are in any way forced to be a part of it. But there is often confusion from the human perspective about what a collective is. And a collective is different than a council. But we're not going to get into that right now. So everything doesn't get distilled down into sameness. It is quite the opposite. So a collective consciousness doesn't mean that everybody's a robot, they all act the same, they feel the same, they do the same. And that doesn't make any sense, right? It's an individual, authentic expression is where the collective gets its true power from. So everyone has their authentic expression. They are all expressing and living that way. They are, however, living within the same value system with heart coherency, right? So when you are living this way, let's just imagine that you are having one experience over here, and then another being in your collective is having a completely separate experience that does something very different than what you do as being a member of this collective. But the collective consciousness shares like a collective mind, and they are all able to vibrate within a heart coherency that is very stabilized. So this doesn't mean that if, let's say, there are 100 in this collective, and we are simply making up that word, it doesn't mean that that everyone has to be perfect and completely balanced all the time, because every once in a while something happens, even in a higher dimensional experience or existence. What will happen if there is an influx in, let us say, like an experience of a different vibration that is outside of love, like maybe it is a lower vibration, then the rest of the collective will increase their vibration in order to lift up this other vibration so that everything comes in this harmonic balance again. So when you are at this level of awareness, you are understanding when there are influxes or fluxes, and then you are adjusting your own vibration so that the whole is in this heart field. And additionally, when you choose to bring in or birth, however your species or collective brings in a new child or member, it is the collective whole that decides, right? And so the energetics of a group consciousness is so great that beings let go of the need to operate from a singular expression with all of its individual preferences, and it operates in favor of the group consciousness because of, as we just described, there is the collective mind, and the true desire and the authentic desire or the preference really is from the whole. So this is how the whole group is able to decide like who, what, where, and is it beneficial for this group to add a new member through birthing a child into the sort of the collective memory or brain complex, however you might look at it. So you could think of it as like an octopus that has all of these arms, and in each one of the tentacles is doing something different, but it's always transferring vibratory information through its arms and tentacles into the mainframe of the brain, right? But at its whole, it is vibrating in a heart coherency, because if you are not functioning in that way, then there would be hierarchy and it wouldn't be able to maintain a balanced vibration. And this is truly why being in a frequency of love, coherency, and being able to hold coherent states even through moments of discord is imperative to the ascension process. I know that many, even starseeds or others, are just like waiting for the galactics to come. The galactics cannot come. They're not gonna be coming anytime soon. One, because they'd be interfering with our sovereignty, is the main one. But the other thing is humans as a whole are not able to flow, or humans in general are not emotionally literate. There is not a lot of emotional consistency. There is repression of emotions, and the subconscious is just this infinite depth of emotional gunk that is like a ticking time bomb. And we need to be healed to hold space and truly to stop identifying with the personality, right? You can still be authentic, vibrating in love, and holding this amazing authentic expression from your soul while being in service to others, right? And so this brings up a good point as far as being part of a collective, right? When, even if you are in service to not yourself, when you are in service to others, if you put your health in jeopardy, then that means that you are putting your health in jeopardy to the whole. So when light workers or healers say, I honor and I vow and I commit to do no harm, you must understand that that includes yourself, because you, as a member of a collective, if you were to be in one or could identify with one, essentially when we become the new humans, that is a collective. We become the collective with and in unity consciousness with Gaia. If we are harming ourselves in the name of helping someone else, we are harming ourselves. It doesn't matter if we are harming ourselves or harming them. That doesn't help, right? The balance doesn't shift. Right? There is still harm. When we harm ourselves, we are bringing harm to our collective. And so these are the things to remember. So why are we bringing this up? Because it's important to remember, and I think we all know this, that Source or God is a collective consciousness, right? And all beings through the process of ascension are ultimately returning back to this state of being the one. The idea being that the God Source wanted to know itself, so it fractured itself in order to witness and watch and perceive, discover, experience itself. It wanted to experience itself to know itself, right? So there was separation, and then we're supposed to go back into oneness. So the point is that there is a part of us that knows that there is no separation and that we are a part of this unity and collective consciousness, but this is ingrained far more into star seeds, or galactic beings, celestials, angelics, etc., right? So the purpose back to the star family, too, the purpose of connecting with and uniting with your star family is to remember that you are never separate from home. You are not a cosmic orphan, and that you chose to come to this planet with a mission. So when your starseed aspect or your galactic self is activated through the heart, you begin a process of integration and ultimately unification. So living as your galactic self restores divine human DNA, allowing you to transform consciousness through the body and co-create a galactic legacy here with this planet. And we are not ditching the body anytime soon. We are meant to be here to transmute our physical structure. Remember that it is crystalline, and that this consciousness of Gaia, of the new earth, of every iteration of her, is a crystalline. And that planets are crystalline, our galaxy, our grid systems, it is all crystalline. We are crystalline beings, and we are meant to embody our galactic legacy, our divine genetic encoding, our DNA, and to activate the God source through this physical structure. And then this physical structure becomes less dense. And how do we know when this happens? Because this is the moment where we expand our consciousness to the point of an awareness that we are no longer a species existing on a planet, but that we are the thoughts of the planet. We are the living crystalline thought crystals of the planet, currently holding a physical structure that has blood pumping through it, that is currently a body. And it is through that bandwidth and that level of awareness that we have the awareness that we are the consciousness of Gaia. And that is the moment when we vibrate with a pure heart coherency as the new human. We are less dense in our physical form, and where we are a species that has become the consciousness of the planet. And this is in many ways why starseeds are here. You're here to remember, here to recover and to recuperate galactic histories, your soul's records, to eradicate fear, to find your star family that may have gotten stuck on this planet, to download and to transmit with them, to bring everybody up into this vibratory resonance. Some of you are here to work with the planetary grid system. Some of you are here to work with opening and working with stargates, and working with remembering and activating and working and connecting with inner earth beings, so that we are here in many ways because some of us are connected to and working with the galactic administrations and these galactic guardians and the councils of light and all of these alliances that are here that want to help Earth, but they cannot. Because of cosmic law, they cannot interfere. So what do? You're a high vibrational being, extremely high. You can come here, hold your light, stay connected to these alliances, and through you interfere, right? You're not interfering, but you are bringing through information that cannot be brought through any other way, or you are breaking cosmic law. And sovereignty is everything. So being a starseed, like, I love you all. I just want you to remember your power and your truth, and to not fall into this apathetic state that out there is better than down here, because you are here to make down here out there. We are here to be galactic citizens. We are here to embody our galactic legacy, because Earth is part of our galactic community. And that is why we are here. And so when you find your community and you can be yourself, it is my hope that you can embrace your galactic authentic truth. You can heal what needs to be healed, and you can do your mission. So that's another thing. If you identify with a mission, frequently this is another sign. So, sorry, it's getting a little emotional. Like, I understand that it's challenging, right? But you just we are here for a reason, and there are some things that need to be done, and I honor you, and I see you, and I love you, and I share my heart with you, and I am here for you. And if we are resonating, or you want to learn more about yourself, I have this new Meet the Galactics that is coming up, that is filled with activations and help to remind starseeds of beneficial ways to connect to the sphere of a mentee, the Akashic Records, or to read your DNA in a way that's different than others may approach that, because knowing and remembering that you are a collective consciousness, and that this is resonates for many of you, the way that you will access your information and find your memories, and also be able to discern between what's a false memory or an implanted memory, all of these things. And there's so much growth and so much that we can all learn from each other. Remember, you're not alone. You're not a cosmic orphan. And you can be a part of this community if it resonates with you. But I hope that you find community that resonates with you. Because as beings that honor and understand and desire so deeply to be a part of a community that doesn't wound or harm them, but understands who they are and is able to resonate and witness them, that is everything. And so I am here for you. I have a lot of free content on my website. If you sign up for my mailing list, I have a free guided experience to meet your star family or your brethren or a cosmic connection. It's all free. And additionally, Meet the Galactics is my next galactic guided intensive. And then I also do star family sessions and readings. So I encourage you to visit my website. And thank you for listening. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we love you, we love you, we love you.